What's up with the squad? Back on another video. I'm Recklezz.
I'm Chris.
So we got, you know what I'm saying, a leftist man going to Trump rally, you know what I'm saying. See what people got to say. I love watching these videos just based off of seeing what others have to say. A civilized conversation, if it is, you know. And I feel like that's the most important thing, to know everybody viewpoints on a lot of things. So make sure you hit the like button, that subscribe button. Let's get in the video.
Cruiser Marco Rubio.
What would it have taken for you guys to not go into the rally and to instead get ice cream with me, a flaming leftist?
Well, first of all, you'd have to buy.
All right, I'm buying. We are polarized. There is no doubt about it. But I came to this Trump rally on a hunch. I've poured drinks at a Rust Belt dive bar for the last year, and when your county votes for Trump and the bartender looks like I do, people kind of assume that you're on the same page. But sometimes you actually are. So here's my hunch. For all the focus on culture war issues, the working class on the left and the right have a lot more in common than we're led to believe. And if that's true, it could and should have huge implications for the upcoming presidential election. So I went to Erie, Pennsylvania to find out. Are we rolling? Okay. We're here at the Trump rally today. Why did you come out today?
To support my 45th president. He didn't lose. He called out the Washington establishment, and I absolutely loved it.
You know, he's definitely not a Republican because Mitch McConnell and them would be backing him and DeSantis would be running against him. Obviously not a Democrat no more, so we're more of a politically homeless faction that loves America and will make all the changes that we can to make it great.
Prices are just higher. Like, you go to the grocery store,
Yeah.
I buy the same thing every time I go to the grocery store. I spend $102 at Aldi's. I was just telling my uncle this.
Yeah.
I'm spending over $200 now.
Yeah.
So things are more expensive. I think people are more scared.
Our money doesn't have no value, and that's why we're having problems. This whole inflation thing, it's been building and building for multi-decades, and it's getting close now.
You work at McDonald's, right?
I do.
Do you feel like you're getting everything out of work that you're putting into it?
I believe I should get paid more. All I am doing is I'm working my ass off to get my money. I'm a hard worker, and I feel like I deserve more.
I work down in West Virginia.
And I feel like that's one thing that becomes a problem, that is a problem that a lot of people are saying, is the money. Where it is, like, I feel like when Trump was actually in office, you didn't really hear, and I don't really wasn't into politics or anything like that, but obviously there's people around, you watch videos, you do this, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people wasn't really saying, oh, this is hot. Oh, why is this that? Why is
They
this?
weren't really worried about that.
Exactly.
Or thinking about it.
And if they were, talking like that or anything like that, I feel like these last 4 years or so, is a little bit, worse.
Yeah. I would say that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, on the rigs for evil Big Red, Halliburton.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Halliburton, we were 2 weeks on, 1 week off, so you never got to go home. We were the lowest paid of all the workers out there. I only made $13.50 when I got hired on.
For Halliburton.
For Halliburton, yep. Probably wouldn't even have an Iraq war if it wouldn't have been for the Halliburton and Cheney and stuff. We were expendable. That's all it was. Halliburton, Big Red, they called it. You're just part of the machine, and the machine can be replaced.
As expendable as, people who went over to fight a rich person's war in Iraq.
Yep, pretty much.
5 years ago, I came to the realization that I've been hoodwinked. I have zero respect for Dick Cheney. I have zero respect for George Bush.
What did it for you there, and why did you end up going towards Trump?
It was a lie.
And this
they lied about the Iraq war. There was no reason for us to go into war in Iraq other than the military-industrial complex
It's just a conspiracy
wanted
theory,
a war.
too,
The global corporations, do they have, the Goldilocks question: too much, just enough, or too little power? Where would you place it?
I feel like their only thought is more money,
right?
more power. That's all you care. Whoever has the most money.
Obviously, it's too much.
Yep.
When you have a company like BlackRock that's worth $9 trillion,
And Vanguard's what?
Vanguard's $8 trillion. Obviously, I'm not going to argue. There's a problem with that.
Do you think the finance sector?
Yeah.
Does it have too much power, just the right amount of power, not enough power?
Way too much power.
the financial sector.
100%. Yes. These people really, a lot of these people they don't realize are unelected officials. So all these politicians have this plan for how they're going to fix the economy, but then they just get in there, they don't do anything, and they're funded by the people, and those people are not elected, and they control the people that are elected.
What role do you think, the consolidation?
See, and that's one thing that I'm gonna go back, see if I can hear that question, but I feel like 4 minutes in, seeing how people can actually come together with just asking a simple question without getting so offended or so defensive, like you don't.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a lot of people say that all Trump rallies are bad and this and that, and really all the Trump rallies that I myself react to or with Chris haven't seen really,
like crazy.
But Trump supporters.
Yeah.
Haven't seen Trump supporters act a certain way, but
they're all pretty nice.
People that is protesting.
That
yes.
is a different story. Yeah, I remember that video.
Facts.
And they control the people that are elected.
What role do you think, the consolidation of these larger corporations? I came from an agricultural background, and now it'll be 3 or 4 companies that control the entire market for chicken, eggs, beef.
That shouldn't happen.
Yeah, the working class has gotten beaten up because of the loss of small businesses. And my question would be, well, I would say, well, why aren't they here anymore?
As a small business owner, I feel like we aren't represented that much in America.
Do you see a problem with that kind of operation?
And on top of that, I feel like me being real, we are in 2023, and honestly, to me, growing up, you would always see a lot of people, working, and you'll have a select few of people that's owning their small businesses, stuff like that. Yeah. But now in 2023, there's a lot of people that's owning their small business, even children own it, having, like
that's what everybody wants to do now.
Yeah, you got a 14, 15-year-old that's actually trying to do, and I feel like that's somebody who is needed in office. I don't know. I feel like that's just something that, it's a lot of small business owners or just business owners in general.
In general,
yeah.
Presented that much.
It's more of them.
Do you see a problem with that kind of operation?
Oh, 100%.
When it's concentrated.
Because the big guys are beating out the small guys or even the family-owned businesses, easily.
A lot of that's driven by these really large corporations that are, just by their size, pushing the little guy out.
Yes.
How big of a problem do you think that is?
That's an ultimate problem. That reminds you of watching them westerns, movies when they would go to some small town and the one guy owns the bar, he owns the tack place, he owns that. Yes. There's so many houses for sale in our neighborhood. I was going to go to town and say, are these all, can we find out, are these just real people buying them? Or is this like proxies? See, BlackRock proxies, Vanguard proxies. Are they buying all these homes so people can't own them and they're just going to rent them?
Would you be excited if Trump
got
to rein in?
I didn't even think about that.
Well, of course. It's just...
It's a monopoly that needs to be broken up. Just like, remember the telephone company in the 80s, AT&T? Right. That was broken up.
Yeah.
And that's what needs to be done.
Capitalism's not the problem. It's been corrupted to such a level, just like people think all the politicians are corrupted. But it's corrupted at the highest levels of these corporations, like you said, being owned. Instead of 200 of them, you're down to 4. Yeah. That's a massive control.
You think somebody like Trump with the billions in the business, we're talking about really large monopolies here. Mm-hmm. He's more in their peer group.
Yeah, I agree. You're right.
He has a financial interest to do that kind of policy.
I always even consider Trump even like a crony capitalist. He's not perfect, you know what I mean? He was a capitalist guy, and everybody always read where he would eminent domain against take the lady, kick her out of her house for all that stuff. Yeah, that's falls into that. Like I said, I don't know, I come to a Trump rally. Doesn't mean I think he's the greatest guy.
Can you really trust?
And I feel like that's just one thing it is, like being like I said before, like I feel like being a president or just being owner, being a manager, or anything like that. Like, obviously, you're not going to be perfect. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. Like, I feel like there shouldn't be, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, there shouldn't be a lot of people that's liking what Joe Biden is doing. Like, that's just me personally. Like, it's making me mad of the fact I literally was looking at stuff this morning about the wars and what he got going on with China, and it's just stuff like that. Like, I just feel like a lot of stuff is very unnecessary what Joe Biden is doing, rather than him actually doing something for the United States. And I feel like that right there, like, for real, makes me mad. And I was already mad to begin with, but then when I seen that, I was like,
yeah, because it's like common sense, like, you know.
But that's the thing, though.
It's not good. He's not helping. And
everybody, like you said, like, everybody, like, basically isn't perfect, like, regardless.
Yeah.
Like, I say it all the time, like, everybody ain't perfect, but you definitely need somebody in office that can actually help us out.
Yeah.
And,
knows what they're saying.
Yeah, and know what they're doing,
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I think he's the greatest guy.
Can you really trust a billionaire? Help me understand why that's a thing for you.
Yeah, so with billionaires, I would say honestly, no, you can't.
Yeah.
I'll say with Trump, when he debated Hillary Clinton in 2016, she said all these things about the tax laws, all this, and Trump said, where have you been for 30 years? You haven't done anything about it. And then he said, I know you're not going to do it because all your donors who fund your campaign benefit from the same tax breaks and tax laws I do.
Right.
So whether it's left or right, these people, they're not really going to change the tax laws from the donors that are funding their campaign.
The power is so strong that these people have built up that, and I don't have answers, and because I know that's what you want. You want to hear what can we do. I just don't think politics is going to do it. Just getting in like civil war thing is just who wants to do that kind of stuff? You know what I mean?
I'm kind of in the same place. I don't have the answers. Will politics do it? If politics doesn't do it, what else will? I look out at a couple 100,000 workers at UPS recently.
Yes. Did they vote on it yet?
So
Did
they
it
haven't
pass?
voted on it yet.
I heard about that.
It was negotiated, and there was, threat of the strike. They were really organized. They won $30 billion over the term of that contract, by being organized. So I look at something like that and say, if this is about control and about working class people having a seat at the table at a company as big as UPS, we just saw their unity win $30 billion worth of, cash in the pocket. Does that sit well with folks?
Nonviolent direct action does work. We've been hearing all about the boycotts. You just mentioned 100,000 people. That's a lot of people. You don't want to mess with that.
This contract was $30 billion. That was from workers standing together. Didn't have anything to do with government. Is that something you guys support?
Sure.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course. Absolutely. Wow.
So if my coworkers wanted to make more, and since I want to make more, I'll probably organize something that could help make us more, like maybe a petition.
Yeah, right. Or union activity.
Yes.
A lot of that. Yeah. And would you be really excited by Trump coming out and supporting?
And I feel like a lot of people got the excuse too. Like, I want to say this. Like, he said that he worked at McDonald's or whatever. Like, I feel like one of those things. Like, everybody. It's one of those things. Like, somebody has to do it type. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't have it to regarding like their. It's a lot of factors that can go into why somebody has a job. If they love that job, if that's the job that they can get transportation to, if that's the job they can only get hired at. Because I feel like a lot of people, I want to say this in another video I seen, just based off of where somebody's working at. I see comments all the time where I see people like, oh, why do you want more? He works here, he works at this. And I feel like it's dang near, in a way messed up. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, because maybe that's what all they can get at the moment, or that's close to their house or whatever. Like,
it is.
You got to make something work.
And I feel like, because even back then, I worked at McDonald's, I think in 13, 14, something like that. I think it was. 2013, 2014. It was one of those years. Probably both. I worked there for like 2 years, a year and a half, something like that. But I was only getting paid $7.25.
Yeah, that's what I was getting paid. So.
Yeah, Getting paid $7.25. I don't know if it's still the same. I looked it up the other day for here in Indiana. And it said $7.25 still, but when I go to like the different McDonald's, I always see on the signs and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, it's like,
a little more.
Yeah, I want to say
it's like $10 to $13.
Because I know White Castle was like $13 or something. Expensive.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess it just depends on like where you at too. I know the waiters, the waitress, they get paid like $2.13 or something like that plus tips.
Yeah, it's like $2.
But I don't know. I feel like a lot of this. If I was in this position, I'd probably be the same. I want to get paid more. You know
I want to get paid more.
Yeah. And would you be really excited by Trump coming out and supporting workers who are doing that?
Yes.
Seeing Trump on a picket line?
Yes.
Yeah. Hot button issues. You can't get away from them. You never hear about UPS.
Not today. No, I honestly didn't know about it until you told me.
Why do you think that is?
So they just made a big move doing that too.
Because who's running the show? Listen, we lost our republic decades ago. We're living in an oligarchy. So they're the ones calling the shots because that's where the money's come from. The media, everybody.
You'll see things like the board or whatever they put on, the TV. You'll have
Or trying to divide people.
Yes.
A lot of the stories are trying to divide people. to get them to go
Divide, keep
against
them
each
off
other.
the ball.
We're not supposed to be doing this.
Yeah, like it's weird that it's that.
They want. I
weird
feel like
that
this is
we're
all for
talking.
distraction, to be honest.
Yeah,
They want us to argue.
It is. That's
Yeah,
exactly.
And I feel like that's what it is. Like I feel like regardless of what you are, like it's whatever party you're sitting in or however you feel, what decision you're making. Like I feel like when you have a conversation, it's just like you're having a conversation with anybody. Even if it's not about politics, even if it's not about business, like it's more so better to have that. And I feel like the government wants you to argue. The government wants you to fight.
They want the drama to keep
they do.
Because if they won't have anything else to
fall back
keep
on.
circling around.
Yeah, facts.
Distraction, to be honest.
Yeah,
they want us to argue.
It is. That's
exactly. They want us to argue.
Facade of or there's two sides when in reality there hasn't been two sides since the 1980s.
These are just the conversations that we had at one Trump rally, but you saw it. It did not take long to find people who agree that politicians should reject the money from billionaires, should break up massive corporate monopolies, end forever wars, and join workers on the picket line. And you would never know that if you just watched Fox or CNN. So let's try a thought experiment. What would it look like if for this one presidential election, we had conversations like these that focused on the working class, what they demand, what they need, what they deserve? What would the debates be about? What would the candidates' platforms be like? Who would ultimately win, and how would they be forced to deliver?
I feel like that's important. I feel like he needs to go, and we even talked about going to a Trump rally, but needs to go, and see, different ones, to see how people are feeling, because that might just be those particular, and it was only a few people, that handful of people that he was interviewing, and other people got different, but it's good to go out and see.
Still, everybody how they're feeling.
Facts, and just a simple talk, and I feel like that's what's important instead of arguing or fighting or, I feel like that's definitely important. But make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe button. More videos will be dropped, so make sure y'all stay tuned for them. Definitely much love. Appreciate y'all. Catch y'all next one.